Good day, everyone. It's Tommy Jordan again from Project Phoenix. We are composing this video today to answer the questions that you all posted for us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We did an open Q&A. You asked the questions about the project. We were going to get together and answer them. So I have with me here today Dr. Gillian from the UK. She's my partner over here that's been handling everything on this side of the ocean. So I thought I'd take a few seconds and let you get to know her. Dr. J?
Yes, hello everybody. It's been really good to hear from you over the past few months, and thank you so much for your support in Project Phoenix and also your questions and answers, which we're going to try and deal with today. So it's great to be here, and it's great to be sitting here with Tommy, my US partner, to deal with these questions and answers for you.
Okay, so let's just jump right into the Q&A. We've taken all these down, written them down, pardon us because we have cheat sheets here because we're trying to keep things quick and concise and to the point. So, Dr. James is going to start with the questions. She'll read some, I'll read some. That's our format.
Right, the first question that a lot of people asked around the world was specifically, why is this project going to be taking place in Libya? Why did we choose Libya? Why is it important to happen in Libya as opposed to any other country, perhaps in the Middle East? But specifically for the US audience, you were asking us, why can this not happen in the US? Or is there a possibility of it happening in the future? Why Libya? So over to Tony.
And and so the big question that we get from the States is more specifically, why not here at home? Why are you doing this in the U.S.? Our kids here need better education. Our kids here need this, and so let's address them both. Number one, why do we choose to start this in Libya at all? Yes, it goes back in the beginning to the fact that I worked there about a half a decade ago. I was there for 2.5 years, me and a great team of people. I got to experience the culture, the people. I'm familiar with the country. I know the geography. I know the cities. I know enough of the language. I know enough of the language to get it around. And so Libya means a lot to me. They are going through a hard time right now. They're a fledgling democratic society that is trying to get their feet under them, and it's a way for us to help. It's kids. That's awesome to me, to Dr. Gillian, to all the people that have participated in this. Being able to help is great. Being able to help children is even more great. So that's why Libya. As a follow-up point, Libya is a starting point. It's a place that wants us to come. They have asked us to come. They've asked us to do this. And so it's a great way for us to get started. Does it mean we're going to stop there? No. Hopefully this will go to countries around the world, in years to come. There's no reason we can't go South America, North America, Canada, anywhere that needs to have this kind of mobile school system. We would love to work. Now, specifically, why are we not doing this in the U.S. right now? The biggest reason is hurdles. There are a bunch of hurdles. If there's a group of people out there that can take those hurdles out of our way, we would love to do this. But just so you understand, in the career I have in IT, I do this with financial sector, healthcare, veterinary, commercial, enterprise, state and local government, even federal government. So I do these kind of contracts in the U.S. now, and they're rife with problems. They're rife with delays. Just to get started, to bring one of these schools to one little town in suburban USA that even though we all know it needs to have it, it's 1.5 years of paperwork to even think about getting started. There's fees, there's taxes, there's holdups from town council, there's so many hoops to jump. We would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and lose a year just trying to get started. So we can't go to the US and just start this project right now and go. We can go to Libya because they want it. They have removed the hurdles themselves and said, we want to do this. Bring us the solution. And we can just, honestly, just drive across the border and there it is. So that's why we're starting there, because we can. Do I want to do this in the US? Absolutely. Do our partners, Chad and DEI and Worldwide CAD, want to do this in the US? Yes. Right now, we can't. Can other people pave the way for us? Certainly. Does the UK want something like this? I'm sure there are places that it could be used here. So there is a desire to do it anywhere that it can be used. We can't necessarily knock down every barrier. If other people can help us do that, wonderful. Let's do it, okay? And that's. I could talk about that question for an hour and a half, but I'm not. I'm gonna stop up there. So the next question. This is for you, Dr. Gillian. Why does Project Phoenix need the money now, as opposed to, why this quick fundraising? Why the effort to get things started right now?
Well, I think, as most of you will know who have children wherever you are in the world, most of the school years start, the academic years start in September. So we have very little time to get up and running on the ground if we want the children in Libya to benefit at the beginning of the academic year from this project. And that's what we try to do from the beginning, that we have had a lot of people. Tommy's already mentioned Chad. There's been lots and lots of people who've helped us with the process, with hours given free, voluntarily, to try and move it forward quickly, because we want the children to get the very best start in this next academic year that they possibly can. As a teacher, I know, and as a parent, I know that the stability at the beginning of the academic year is so important for children, to know that they're going to have some kind of a good schooling environment, one that's effective, one that's regular, one that's safe, one that is there on time, that they can join at a certain time of the day and leave at a certain time of the day, where they can work in comfort. But it's got to be done quickly, because otherwise you miss out on that vital opportunity of the start of the academic year. Now, we know that if we get the appropriate funding, which we're hoping will happen very, very quickly and is in process, we can get the first mobile school on the ground in Libya by October, possibly even the end of September.
That would be tough, but we can do it if the funding comes through, and if we get the support that we need.
The other thing is that there is a curriculum ready to go in Libya. Children will be able to be taught by teachers within this environment everything that they need to know. It's there, but at the moment they don't have the environment to be able to benefit from that, and that is the difference between what is happening now and what could happen if this funding gets.
Yes, I mean, truly, right now, this school year, they have students, they have teachers. If they have a classroom, maybe they have that third component, they don't have the books. Even though the books have been approved, they don't have the tools to do it right now. So they have 90% of what they need. Our job is to bridge that gap, to give the teacher and the student a place to go and have the curriculum there so it can be utilized. And we want to do that right now, not a year from now, not 5 years from now. We can make a difference now.
And yes, thanks. And we can make a difference with one of these mobile schools. We want to show how effective it can be. We want to bring in parents, the community, the local community, and the support of the Libyan government, and expand so that every school, every community, every village will eventually have the same opportunity for their children to be schooled in this way. But we've got to get one on the ground really quickly to show how effective it can be. Okay, this is another question that we received from several people, and it's to do with, they're very supportive of this project, and we all hope it can work, it can be successful. So if it is successful, are there other areas in which the mobile environment could be used to benefit children, men, women, people who don't have the facilities that they currently deserve or that they should have in place? What are the other areas potentially of application of a project such as this?
Well, and it is a good question, and I'm actually very glad that we got it. I mean, it's kind of awesome in my. I know you hate that word, awesome. It's kind of awesome, in my opinion, that people in other fields are contacting us this quickly and going, wait, that's a great idea. Can we use that? Doctors Without Borders, they very much support the idea. They're not going to financially support it because it's not what they do, but they heard the idea and said, well, what applications does that have for our industry? And you have to understand, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're reinventing the cost-effective wheel. This technology, the idea of a mobile platform, it's not new. The U.S. Army's been doing it for 6 decades. The UK Army, I'm sure, has too. Red Cross has done it. UNICEF's done it. But the problem is, it's become so commercialized. It's expensive. One of these little containers to do what we're trying to do would normally run $250,000. That's crazy. Nigeria, right now, you can buy a solar-powered building, empty, with nothing except 4 walls and some power, and it's got about a third the power ours does. $85,000. That's crazy. We actually have a whole school, and that includes the tablets, the books, the education, the library, the teaching supplies, the gas, the fuel, the tanks, everything, for about 20 grand less than that. Because we're not trying to get rich off it, you know? I mean, that's the difference. So, what other areas can we expand into? Healthcare, obviously, around the world, that's easy. The foundation of our system is a 3-powered solar, shore, and diesel powered complex. It could be used for a small clinic, doctor's office. It could be used for a field station for a nurse. It could be used for scientific research. It could be a portable office. You fly in on a helicopter and drop it into the middle of whatever jungle you want to and run off of it. So there's lots of applications where our idea can be used. We're just trying to do it more effectively to make it where the people that want to use it can take advantage of it.
And I think the other thing to add to that is that the technology and the way that these mobile schools and mobile units would work, we want to make sure that some of that opportunity goes back into the community. For example, with Libya, we will employ Libyan people and hopefully work with them together efficiently and effectively so that they can eventually take over that project. And the same thing would happen in the other areas, wouldn't it, should this be...
Question number 4, what other support are we as an organization receiving? A lot of you have asked or commented to me privately, or I'm sure to Dr. Gillian privately, you know, I think I'd like to be part of this, or I'm interested in donating either financially or in my time or in sharing the word. But tell me more about who's behind this. Tell me more about, you know, who else has sponsored this program. So let folks know who else we're talking to, what we're part of, and you know what our status is as of right now.
Yeah. This is not just a project, a standalone project, an idea which has been bandied about and a few people have given their time to. This is now an official UNICEF partnered project. That means that the United Nations are supporting us in our venture. It means that we're not bound by what the United Nations say they think should happen here. It means they have asked us for our ideas and they've approved our ideas independently to go ahead. So we're now an official UNICEF partner and we can operate in Libya with the approval of them and with the Libyan government. That's really important because without that it probably wouldn't go ahead in the way in which we would like it to. We also have joined the UN Global Movement for Children, which is a forum and a network which offers advice, and we can reciprocate with that to help children to understand their needs, to understand their cultural needs, in this case in Libya, but also it will, when we take this project further in other countries as well. Very important. And even more important probably, in a country such as Libya where children have not been taught English until 2011. From 1986, English was banned by Gaddafi in schools, and we have this really, really important support from the Libyan English Teachers Forum within Libya. They're trying to bring English back in, English is back into the curriculum now since 2011, but to make sure that all children in Libya stand a chance of understanding what is going on in the world around them through this different forum, through the important, second most important language in the world, I suppose, which is English. And we have the support of this group of teachers who are excited to be able to get on board with the project and who we are very excited to work with as well.
And the great thing about them, that, you know, with the Libyan English Teachers Forum, it's not, they aren't just English teachers, they are English speaking Arabic teachers. Some of them are from the US, some of them are from the UK, some of them are actually from Libya. But the cool thing is they speak our language. So while we're trying to help Libya, which is an Arabic country, as you know, Tommy doesn't speak too well in Arabic. I can say a few things: taxi, can I have some water, and give directions to the hotel. It's pretty much it. These ladies speak the language, they live in the culture, they understand it, they are helping and assisting us integrating our ideas. So being able to have someone that speaks fluent English, understands where people like me come from, and lives every day in the culture that we're trying to take the project to, they're a great negotiator almost. I mean, they help us temper our ideas. They help us understand the challenges that we're going to face. They help us be aware of obstacles that we would not otherwise know about. And so, I mean, they're doing a lot more than just teaching students. They're actually helping us properly get settled into this project, and that's pretty impressive. I mean, it's a small group of people, but they have a far reach.
What we tried to do was reach out to quite a few humanitarian organisations around the world, and we're also now part of the International Mothers Network, which it runs out of the US, but again, humanitarian efforts including marketing, media, sharing of information, publications, and research into, again, children's needs, but also looking at the overall needs of the family around the world. We're now a part of that organisation, and so what we're trying to do is get as much information as possible to help us work in Libya with parents, with teachers, with the UN, with global bodies, and it's all coming together just at the right moment.
I want to add one point that you said something earlier that bears clarification. UNICEF is a great stepping stone for us. They're who we reached out to in the beginning. You know, when we found out that we have an opportunity to do this project, it's going to need help. It's going to need funding. We're not just going on Facebook going, hey, can you give us a whole bunch of money and we'll go to Libya and do this. That's not the way it's being done. We actually talked to UNICEF in the very beginning and said, here's the goal we had. We're unable to move forward the way we want because it's going to take a half a decade and $1 billion. That's not a workable solution. But we have a solution that may be, here it is, what do you think about it? And UNICEF, as a children's support organization, they go around the world, just like you said, handling crises. Massive problems that require their attention right now. They are not a permanent solution. UNICEF doesn't go in to help children and stay for 30 years. They go in to fix a problem in its worst time, but they have to get out because they have a finite amount of people, resources, tents, teachers, volunteers, so they have to go. They're looking for a way to not just pick up and leave and go, well, it's been great, but Syria, you know, they need us now worse, so we have to go, bye-bye. They love the idea and say, well, wait, so you can provide a permanent gap stop for us. You can fill this hole. You can provide a place where the educational system can have a foundation to start on its own and perpetuate itself and keep going. So that's what granted us the UNICEF's support, to the point that, I mean, we're as of today, we're waiting on a callback between the UN, Libya, and hopefully we're going to schedule a meet in either here in the UK or in Libya to meet and finalize a potential, cross your fingers, a potential for ongoing funding from the UN. And it's our project. It's not a UN project. It's our project that the UN supports. That's a big difference between being a UN project. It's not. It's our project. You guys are helping us do it. You know what our goals are. You know what we're going to do. So having that UNICEF support is really, really big for us. We actually have a couple of opportunities that we wouldn't have in the US. For example, there's a few ways to handle transporting these schools. They're a 40-foot container. All we need is a truck and a flatbed trailer, or a low boy, not a flat boy, a low boy. We can currently, our options are go out of Jordan. There's a company that heard about us in Jordan, which is about 2 countries over from Libya, where they're actually buying these trucks out of Kuwait and Afghanistan and Iraq and across the east, and they're retrofitting them, leasing them as a fleet. Leasing a tractor trailer in the U.S. is expensive. Leasing a tractor trailer in over here, a few $100 a month. You know, I mean, less than it costs for us to rent a car. But hell, the car that I had this week costs more than the truck would. So we have opportunities and ways to get the vehicles to pull this stuff. We are looking at the potential of down the road just buying a few. Go over to Kuwait and Afghanistan, work a deal with the U.S. Army, the UK Army, buy a few of these rigs, fix them up ourselves, paint them up. You know, it's very cost effective, and now they belong to us. So we're keeping ideas open to lease them. We're keeping ideas open to lease them from Libya itself. We're keeping ideas open to buy them. So we have, plenty of. that was intentionally not part of the project. The school is a school by itself. It's self-contained. Leasing a vehicle to pull it's not hard. So, question number 6. Who is composing the curriculum, and will it accommodate all types of learning styles and abilities?
Yes, we think this is a key question, which we've been asked a fair amount, and we've covered a little bit before in this question and answer session. What it relates to really is the fact that we do have a national curriculum for Libya, as I mentioned before, that's being developed. It's being picked up by various publishing companies who have the right to deliver the national curriculum, so it's there, it's ready to go. We have no say at all in what is in that curriculum, nor would we want to.
Correct.
The political and cultural situation in Libya, like Tommy says, it's a fledgling democracy. But because of that, the national curriculum represents the wishes of all of the people, all of the parties in that democracy. And that's what we're teaching. We're teaching their materials to their children. And the teachers are teaching it in the way in which the Libyan government want it to be taught to the children.
Well, to clarify, we aren't even teaching it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, don't be confused there. We're delivering the materials. Libyan teachers are teaching it to their students in the manner that they feel appropriate. We're providing a vehicle for it.
Yeah, we're the facilitators. So we have no influence whatsoever over any of the content which will be delivered. And as we said before, that's not our intention at all. Our intention is to enable that to happen, to bring the materials in, to bring the ideas in, to put the ideas on the ground, to enable the Libyan government, teachers, parents, to give their children that education which they currently can't take advantage of.
Well, and it's, one, it's because, well, why not? Well, real simply, it's not our place. I'm from the U.S., you're from the U.K. I can speak for my country. It's not my country's place to tell Libya how to train their kids. That's not, how you educate your children, that I have no right to decide that. I have no right to have any influence there. Now, if you want us to help with things, do you want more technology? Do you want more of this particular subject? Well, that's technological. There we can help. But as far as what you teach your children, we are apolitical. And the other reason that we're staying apolitical is because once you take a political side in that argument,
you cease to become a humanitarian organisation.
Well, yeah, and you're going to alienate half the world. You're out. Half the world's going to go, well, you should be teaching this. The other half, no, you should be. No, we aren't teaching anything. We're providing the curriculum their government approved and wants to use.
And just for information, that does include English and maths and science and social studies. Things which were not taught really as we would expect to see them in any kind of way before 2011. We can probably give some more details out about that later if there are further questions on that, but that's just a reassurance really for everyone that we have no influence over either what's in the curriculum or the way it's going to be taught. We're just going to help people to be able to do that.
We talked way too long to say that.
Probably. Okay, well, the next question then is to do with a lot of people's concerns who perhaps have not been to Libya and they're not quite sure. They see what's in the media, they worry about it, worry about the safety of anyone that's going in there, but also about the possible diversion of resources to help a project such as this. And they worry about us and the people on the ground.
Sure.
So the question, which I think came from Joe Ray, was it? Joe Ray Sanders, thank you very much. Was that how safe is it in Libya right now for a project such as this to take place?
And there's a point that I had in my mind to answer about this that was not in my notes, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. One thing that we, from the U.S., and I'm just speaking for us because I'm not sure how the news here in the U.K. is. I think I understand it, but I know that I probably don't.
Partially.
In the U.S., let's use Detroit or Chicago. They probably have 40 homicides a week. They probably have 40 homicides between Friday night and Saturday morning. Those don't get on the news at all, none. Last night, I'd say it's fair to say 100 people were killed in the U.S. with guns or some other thing. Nobody publishes that. For some reason, every time someone gets hurt in Libya, our news grabs onto it and goes, oh my God, Libya is rampant with bombings and 3 people were put in the hospital. Yes, it's bad. that's in the whole country. That's not bad. That's a country of 6 million people. Compared to the stuff that happens where we are every day, that's really no worse off. To answer the question, is it safer now than it was before? Libya is as safe now as it can be. They are a country that has just emerged from 42 years of tyrannical rule. Now they are building their own democratic government. They have strife, they have problems, they disagree on things, and it causes fights. People do that. No one is over there going, oh, we hate teachers. You know, that doesn't happen. The one thing that is a blessing for us is that, just like you said, both sides of the fence, both political parties, though they disagree on a lot of things, they've actually agreed on this curriculum. They at least got together long enough to go, well, other things aside, kids are important, that we can agree on, and we want to teach English at 4th grade and Arabic in these grades and math and sciences. So they've all got together and approved what we can provide to teach. That's good news.
So I think, to summarise, the situation is not great politically and there is still some conflict going on. But everyone agrees that probably one of the safest things you can do is to focus on the curriculum and teaching children, because you've got parents on board, you've got the government on board, every faction is supportive of their children being educated, and so are the communities in which those schools will go into. So we're in the best kind of position that we could be within the context of Libya.
And again, it plays an important role that we have the support of UNICEF. That's they're an international aid organization, and when they put their stamp of approval on this project, that gives it a certain, I'm not going to say protection because that's just the wrong
authority, though.
That's a good word. So that helps too. So and finally, just to address this, we're not going to be ever during this project sending 500 people from the United States or the UK into Libya. We're going to do this with a small team, a core team of people that can put this together, maintain it, deliver it, operate it. But we're teaching locals, Libyans themselves, how to use this gear, how to implement this gear. We are not going to put a force of personnel on the ground. So there's not going to be 500 people from the United States over there to worry about. It's just going to be 2 or 3. And not 200 or 300, just 2 or 3. That's it. A couple people. This can be a small, agile, quick responding program, not a bulky bureaucracy that's slow. That's important to understand. And to end this Q&A on a positive note, one of the most oft received questions is how else can we help? A lot of people say, I can't give financially, I'd like to give, I'd like to help. How can I do that? So, Dr. Gillian, aside from financial contributions, how can folks help?
Yeah, lots of ways actually. Lots of ways which can be small or can be big. It depends on you really. One of the ways, for example, in which you can support us is by a simple retweet on Twitter. Now, I use Twitter, as you know, a lot.
She's not kidding. She has I saw it at 123,000 tweets.
Yeah.
How long did that take you to do that? What was it?
That's since about 2009, since we started working with refugees after the Iran election, 2009. Okay, but all over the
you tweet like 50,000 times a year?
Yes, at least.
You realize that's like 1,000 times 100 times a day.
Yeah,
wow, that's a lot.
Like that,
just tweets a lot.
But some of you might actually like to use Twitter and you use it on a regular basis. And something as simple as a retweet, which we've put together to support Project Libya with a link on it, for example, or just a copy to the media. It could be Reuters, it could be AP, AFP, it could be to your local MP if you're in, or MEP if you're in Europe, UK, or Senator, Congressman. Just add someone onto that or just retweet it, and it brings it to the attention of the media and politicians in a wider way, which can make a difference. We've had a couple of articles produced by local newspapers, haven't we, which have highlighted the project. Anything like that is really important.
Thank you, by the way, Lane at the Manhattan Digest. That was the first actual official editorial done on our project. And
that's been published.
He was very kind. Thank you, Lane.
And also thank you, Cheryl, out there, who is helping us to publicise in California, and everyone else really that has helped to get the information out to the media. It can be Twitter, it can be Facebook, it can be any form of media that you like. So anything that's that you can do is fantastic, even if it's just retweeting something, just taking a couple of seconds to pass on the message, if you like, and try and spread that message a little bit wider. And Tommy referred to at the beginning there, the fact that people have been coming to us on Facebook and Twitter and emailing us and saying, well, we have skills, we can't provide any funding right now or any contributions financially, but we have skills in fundraising, humanitarianism, we have a bit of spare time, we can use Office, Microsoft, we work with children, how can we help? Now what we're doing is putting all of this information together in a database. We might not be able to contact you straight away because you know the state of the project is that we need to get something on the ground first, and then we've got the database of volunteers to draw on, and we will be contacting you. So thank you very much everybody that's offered to do that.
Those that are those that are contributing, we've asked people, for example, there's a link on my Facebook wall that says that, you know, if you want to volunteer time or skill set, please include the following. And it's, you know, in case it needs to be reiterated, and I'll put it here on the YouTube video, but your name, your address, your email, your Skype ID, because a lot of us are overseas, so it's easier to Skype and it's cheaper than trying to call you. But give us all your contact information. Don't forget what country that you're in, because quite frankly, putting Boise is no longer good enough. I'm not sure if that's Boise, Idaho, or if there is a Boise in Uganda. I don't know, because that's coming up a lot now. We have people from Nepal, from Nigeria, a lot in the UK, that they're coming from everywhere. So you can reach out to us. I will have links below this video that tell you how to do so.
And two more important things as well. We now have a hashtag on Twitter, which is...
It'll be here on the screen. You see that? phlibya. Hashtag phlibya. You can hashtag it on Facebook. You can hashtag it on Twitter. You can hashtag it on both now. So use that hashtag. Those of you that don't know what that means, just type this word. #phlibya at the end of your post. Other people, geeks like me, will get it, okay?
and watch out for tweet storms. Again, those of you on Twitter might know what they are. Tweet storms are where you give an hour of your time, or maybe even just 30 minutes, to tweet something about Project Libya, Project Phoenix, for just one tweet every 30 seconds or one tweet every minute. It floods the attention, it brings the attention of the media to the project, and it floods the timeline on Twitter. So the media will pick it up and they're getting 10, 15, 20 of these tweets and think, this should be quite important because we're getting so many of these. People are obviously behind the project and supporting it. So they pay attention, and it might just make the difference between putting us in touch with someone who can publicise the issue further, or maybe even get some more funding.
The big thing is just share it.
As widely as you can.
You'll see a lot of updates on my Facebook wall where I like the GoFundMe page, that links all the time. Share the important things. 8minutesoffame.com/Phoenix. We do have a new site coming up. I haven't had time to develop it. I'm busy. She's busy, so I'll get the new domain live eventually. But 8minutesoffame.com/Phoenix. You can see it here on screen. That tag has all the blog posts, all the articles about the entire project. So if you share that, or share the synopsis video that's here on YouTube, that will also be in the description below here. Share the important stuff. Cherry pick your articles. Don't just share a random status update, because if you want people to have one chance, if you want to grab their attention for 1 second about a new concept, share something that is important and is vital. So pick what you share, but yes, please share it. Those of you that have donated financially, thank you so much. Those of you, our partners in the US, the UK, and Dubai, and Jordan, that have donated their time, hundreds and literally thousands of man hours, thank you so much. Chad from DEI Industrial, Travis from DEI Industrial, Murray Prince from Worldwide CAD, Louvet from Lightworks, I hope I didn't forget anybody major.
Probably.
Tommy from Twisted Networks, there's my plug. My staff has helped. I mean, our guys have been volunteering time and ideas. The project has taken on a life of its own, and it's being driven by people that care. So keep that up. I have to end this with, yes, we still need financial donations. That'll never stop. I'm not going to sit here and plague you and beg for every dollar, but I've said this before. It is amazing. Our largest contribution so far was $700, and you know who you are. And I know who you are, so thank you. I'm not going to go to the embarrassment of dragging your name across YouTube, but thank you so much for that. And that's amazing. But what is really awesome about this, let's say 250,000 people. There's 6 billion people right now on the planet. There's 900 million on Facebook, almost a billion. If 1/10 of those people shared this link and gave $2 one time, not even a recurring donation, just give $2, $1, you could quickly amass $500,000. And with a $500,000 check, this project's gone. We will launch it right now. The moment, if that account were to suddenly skyrocket to $500,000, and you can see it on GoFundMe.com/PhoenixLibya, if it did, no worries. My first phone call was to Texas and say, hey Chad, fire it up and let's go. Let's get this thing built right now. And we build 2 or 3 of them and have them all in dirt at the same time.
Which means that the message of this as well is that every little contribution that people can make in whatever way is helping children in Libya to get that education. That's the bottom line for this. Every single contribution that can be made by anyone around the world is going to helping children.
Having said all that, we've probably taken up way more of your time than we intended. And as always, thank you all for your help. Please keep supporting us. Your Facebook comments, your tweets, they mean the world to us. They help us stay focused. They help us keep going. And I always get, picked on for my tagline, but I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna see how it sounds in British.
Thank you very much. So I've got to say now, have a good day, y'all.
Not bad. Workable. Y'all. Say y'all.
Y'all.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Y'all.
It doesn't work. It